Hi, everyone. So my name is LaKayla Moore, as Dr. Varma just mentioned, and I did turn my camera on for a quick second so that you can see my face for those that I have not met, but I am going to actually turn it back off for the duration of the presentation. But we want to just welcome you to the Blackboard training on course interaction and social presence. Okay, so today's agenda and the topics that we're going to discuss include the importance of student interaction and social presence in an online course, useful tools we can use for student engagement, some of them that you may be familiar with, and there is one that is a new one to maybe new to some, but we're going to look at voice over PowerPoint, VoiceThread, Collaborate sessions, and Zoom meetings. So first, let's talk about the importance of course interaction and social presence in a course. So just thinking about your face-to-face courses, your students are able to engage with you, and you with your students, they're able to engage with each other. They can, as you as an instructor, you can see if they're understanding the content by their body language or how they're responding to the questions and things in the class, and they just get to know you as a person. But sometimes that can be missing in an online course because, we're online. A lot of it's sometimes text-based, or the students are just reading the content that's in the course. But we want to make it more of them having the feel of a face-to-face course, but just in the online environment. So some of the reasons why you want to do that is because you want to increase your student satisfaction. You want to, course interaction creates a learning community. Just like your students, they get to know each other and they see each other as they're going through their courses, especially in the AUM environment. It's so close-knit. They see each other in different courses. They can come to you in your office. They have that learning community that they can reach out to help each other. And we can do that in an online environment. And course interaction provides opportunities for social presence, for them to see you and really to get to know you and each other. So how can we do this? By increasing interaction with the learners to learner, by increasing interaction between learner and the instructor, and by increasing interaction between the learner and the content that you are presenting within your online course. Now, there's a lot of research out there talking about learner interactions and the benefits of it, and how the different methods that you can use to increase learner interaction and on instructor presence. And here's just a few of those that we've provided for you that you can maybe jot down, or even at the when you watch the recording of this, go back and look at some of this research that shows that how increasing the social presence and social interaction in your online courses really does help to create a very conducive environment for students to have a great learning experience. So the first one we're going to look at is VoiceThread. Now, some of you may be familiar with VoiceThread. If you've ever heard of VoiceThread or used it before, give me a thumbs up by using your thumbs up emoji on your screen. Okay. So I see a few that have used it. And VoiceThread, I've actually been very familiar with it. I actually first learned about VoiceThread at AUM in Kelly Schumach's course when I was in graduate school. But what is VoiceThread? VoiceThread is an online platform that allows you to put digital media such as images, videos, and documents, whether it's a PDF or a PowerPoint presentation, and you can put this at the center of your asynchronous conversations. VoiceThread allows people to contribute to discussions using a keyboard, a microphone, webcam, their telephone, or even upload audio files. So thinking about what are the type of activities that you should use VoiceThread for. Now, I know in our online courses, a lot of times we use the discussion boards where students can have that conversation around content, where they do their introductions to get to know each other at the very beginning of the course. Well, you can do VoiceThread for that same thing. You can create opportunities for your students to have a discussion that takes place around a digital artifact or a series of digital artifacts. So in an art course, you can put a series of pictures up and have them to talk about those pictures, where they're using their voice to comment or where they come on with their webcam to comment about it. You can put videos up where they can have a discussion around the text. You can even use it to deliver your online lectures. So in a little while, Anne's going to come on talking about voice over PowerPoints. This tool actually is one that you can use for those voice over PowerPoints that you can put in your course for your students. But the thing about this is that once you put it in your course, you have the option of allowing your students to comment around that material. So as they're watching the voiceover PowerPoint, if they have a question, they can actually go in and pause and put in that question, and then you as an instructor can come back and respond to them. So maybe if everybody's having a question about the World War and they're misunderstanding it, you can put that there for them, and then they can all see that your response to further clarify their understanding of that material. You can even have the students, like I say, introduce themselves. So a lot of times we know we have the introduction discussion board where they'll go in, they'll type a little bit about themselves. They may put a picture of themselves there. Well, you can go in and have students go in and use VoiceThread to use their webcam to introduce themselves to you. They can use their audio. Again, that social presence, you know, putting a face with a name, letting them hear each other's voices, hear your voice, to create that social presence in an online environment. And these are just a few of the ways that you can do it. I know personally from when I was in grad school, we had to do presentations. So just like you would have your students come up and do a presentation in a face-to-face course, I work on my slides, you work on your slides. Well, you can do that with VoiceThread. We can each add our own slides. We can narrate our own slides and put it together for like one video to seem like a seamless presentation in the online environment. So where is VoiceThread located? I'm going to pause my sharing for just a second and switch screens and pull up my Blackboard course. Okay, is everyone able to see my Blackboard course here? Awesome. So now when you go into your Blackboard course, where just like you would build any other content, whether you're going to add in your modules, folder, your test, all of those materials, in that area, you can now, under Build Content, you have the option to add a VoiceThread. So before, VoiceThread was a tool that you could go in and you can embed it, you know, get the code to pull in and put it in your course, but now we have it integrated into your the learning environment. So I'm going to click VoiceThread. I just want to give you a note that I will kind of go through these steps a little fast for the presentation, because we do have some other tools that we want to get to as well. But we have, I'm creating a full instructor guide. And as the instructional designers, you can always reach out to us if you want more thorough explanation of how to use this particular tool. But so now I've gone and said create a VoiceThread. I'm going to give it a name. I would here put my description, whatever I want my students to know about this VoiceThread. I can attach put any attachments that I want to go along with it. I am going to say, yes, I want to enable evaluation. That's just going to make it where it can be graded in the Grade Center. This is going to be worth 10 points. I want my students to be able to see it. I'm going to set a due date. This discussion will be due on the 28th, and I'm going to have them have it done by the end of the day, which will be 11:59. I'm going to leave my default settings as is, and then I'm going to go ahead and click submit. So now that's just the first step. You can now see that it's in my course. But you got to go a little bit further when you're creating your VoiceThread. So we put the placeholder for it here. I'm going to click on that link. And now I've got to go in and actually set up that VoiceThread within my course. So there's a couple of different options that you can have here. So if you're going to do maybe your lectures, or you're going to have a series of VoiceThreads you want the students have to access, you can actually select the course view. This is going to take them to all the VoiceThreads that you have created for their course. And they'll just click that one button and they can funnel through those to see which one they want to view. You also have the home option here, which you can allow the students to have access to all the VoiceThreads that they create. So like I said before, whether they're doing presentations with for a course, you want them to do some type of presentation about material that they're learning, they can have this area here where they can go in and access all of their VoiceThreads. We have the assignment builder, which this allows you to also have the students where they go in and create a VoiceThread, but this is going to be where you would grade it. So here they can create a graded assignment, and then it will require them to actually go in and comment on their other classmates' VoiceThreads as well. So this will be for the students doing one for themselves. But we're going to look at, for this tutorial and for this today's session, the individual VoiceThread, where I'm as an instructor going to create one VoiceThread that I want my students to look at and comment around. So I'm going to click this link here. So here you can see all the ones that I've already created, but we're going to create a new one. I'm going to click create new VoiceThread. I'm going to add media. So with VoiceThread, there's a lot of different ways that you can pull in content. If from my computer, I can pull in, like I said, those images, those PDFs. If I have a PowerPoint presentation I want to go through and narrate, then I can pull that PowerPoint presentation in. There's some other media sources that you can have access to. Maybe you just want to do an audio recording, or you want to pull in a webcam photo, or you want to do a video presentation like I'm doing now. You can do that with the webcam, and you can even pull in videos from like Khan Academy, or if you use Films on Demand, or if you have a YouTube video or a particular website that you want to show, maybe in nursing there's a particular website that you want them to be familiar with. You can pull that information up here through the URL link. But I'm going to do the computer option for today. And what it's going to do is going to pull up my, of course, all my files. I'm just going to go in and pull in a couple pictures. So I'm going to select, I'm holding down the shift key on my computer. So I'm going to select a couple of these images. I'm going to click open. And they're all being processed in the background here. As they're processed, I'm going to go ahead and give this a title. I can't type. And then you can enter in a description. I'm going to leave that blank for now. I'm going to look at my playback options. For this particular one, I don't want them to be able to add slides, but if they were doing a group presentation, you could have it where I can go in and add my slides like I mentioned before. Anne could come in and add her slides, and we can work on the presentation together. So that is an option there. I don't want them to download it or be able to export it. I do want to start playing as soon as they come in. You can see the other options that are listed here. Like I said before, we will have an in-depth tutorial that you can have access to. But for now, I'm going to leave those settings like that and click Save. And so now you can see all the images that I have pulled in that I want them to now have a conversation around. I'm going to start the conversation for them. So I'm going to select one of the images. And if you want to reorder them, you can always just drag and drop. Very easy to reorder. So you put a PowerPoint in, you added something new. I always add additional media here as well, but I'm going to click one of these. And now I'm going to click on comments. Okay, so now I have my image here. I have the commenting button at the bottom, and this is the same way that the students could comment, and that you as an instructor go into your narrations if you're going to a voiceover PowerPoint or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to click comment down at the bottom. As I mentioned earlier in my introduction about VoiceThread, there are a couple of different ways that you can comment. I have a text comment, so just like you would do the discussions in your course, they can type their comment here. When I've got my comment there, I can click Save. Maybe, and then when I hover over it as a student, they can see the comment that has been placed. And then they can even come in right here and reply to one another and have that conversation continuing, just like you would do in the discussion board, but it's around this piece of content that we now have here. As the creator, if I need to edit, I see I have a typo, I can click edit and resave it. And then I have the telephone option here. So maybe you have a student who's on, they don't have a webcam, but they want to be able to communicate or participate in the discussion. They can actually click the number, this phone icon here, type in their phone number. It'll actually call them on their end. They can answer, and then they can start commenting with their voice that way. I'm going to cancel that one. I have the microphone option, so I can click the microphone here. It's going to count down. It will give you an option to where you have to allow, just like you see a lot of times when you're doing different things that says allow this device. You'll get that allow icon the first time you do it, but now I'm recording. As an instructor, if I'm doing the recording here, I can actually, or as a student as well, I can click one of the pencil options. And maybe I wanted them to pay particular attention to the way her hand is being held right here. I can annotate on that, or whatever the case may be. As you're going through your slides, you can annotate on the different things. I can even, if I've done this one and I want to continue, like I'm doing my narrations, I can click the arrow. It's going to take me to the next slide where I can continue those comments around this piece of material. Once I'm done, I click stop recording. I can click the play button here where it will, where you have to allow, just like you see a lot of times when you're doing different things. It's going to play it back for me so that I can listen to it, make sure I like the way it sounds. If I don't like it, I can click cancel and restart. But if I like it, I can click save. And then you'll now see that this one's actually going to start. And you can see at the bottom here, it shows you where in the presentation where my comment starts. And it'll even go on to the next slide when you're listening to that piece of audio. It shows you how long it is and all of that. You even have the option to add in some closed captions for those students who may be hearing impaired. So you can go in, you have to do it manually, but you have the option where you can go in and add those captions there. Again, I have the webcam. So I'm going to click the webcam option here. This is where I mentioned before, it gives you that allow at the very top where you have the microphone. I say, yes, I want to allow it. It's going to count down. You can see my picture over here in the corner. So now I'm looking at this piece of material. I'm talking about it. I'm narrating. Again, just like before, I can go into the next slide. So this is another option for your voice over PowerPoint presentation. You want to have your picture along with that. You can do that as well. Again, just before I have my pencil, I want to make sure that they pay attention to this over here, whatever the case may be. And then once I'm done, I'm going to click stop recording. Give it a second to upload. So now I'm looking at this piece of material, I'm talking about it, and now I have that comment. I like the way it sounds. I'm going to click save. And then you can see here, excuse me, along the timeline at the very bottom, you'll see where the different comments are. And they'd have each student's, their initial, their name, and their comments as going along as well. And just like before with any of them, you can always reply directly to that. So they say, hey, Professor Gilbert, I'm not really sure what you meant by this particular section. Can you clarify that? Then you can come back in and clarify right there. And those others, that kind of cuts down those questions that you may get from the entire class. Oh, he responded to this particular question. And so now I have better clarification on that as well. So you can see that this is a very, very useful tool that can really take your online presence and help the students' understanding of the material a long way. And then again, like I said before, if I'm doing some research and I want to provide proof of what I'm saying, I have a document. I can upload that file or whatever to go along with my particular comment. So there's a lot of different options here. So now that I've done all of the commenting, over on the right-hand side, you see this X over here. I'm going to click the X. I'm going to go back to my main page. Again, if you need to reorder, add more, you can. I can even add a cover art to it. And now I'm ready for it to be shared with my class. I'm going to click Share with Class. I can hear if I have a link that I want to put somewhere else in the class as well, or maybe email it, whatever the case may be. I can preview it to make sure that the video goes smoothly like I want it to. I click Share with Class. And I'm done. When I click return the course, it says right here that you are a success, but I'm going to click at the very top, the breadcrumbs where it says content. So now I have my week 3 discussion added to my course. When my students come in, they click on it. It's going to pull up right here for them to actually start listening to the material and engaging with it and having that conversation around the material that you put within your course. So as I mentioned, VoiceThread is an awesome tool. I loved it when I was in grad school, especially like I said, for those group presentations. We're on different schedules and I don't have to wait till Ann comes in to do her slides. I can put mine in, I can record my piece, and we can comment about maybe what we need to change, and working together. You can do voice over narration for your PowerPoints. So many different things that you can do to use, add instructor presence to your courses with using VoiceThread. Okay, so I'm going to pause sharing real quick. And I'm going to go back to the presentation. And I'm going to mute myself because Ann is now going to take it away and talk to you a little bit more about those voice over PowerPoint presentations that you can do within the PowerPoint itself. So give me 1 second. I'm going to resume sharing.